Hannibal. Hannibal is an American psychological horror thriller television crime series based on characters from Red Dragon by Thomas Harris, which stars Hugh Fancy as Will Graham, Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal Lecter. The show was released April the 4th, 2013 to August the 29th, 2015, with 3 seasons. Season 1, 2, and 3 had 13 episodes. In all, there were 39 episodes. Running time was 43 minutes. The show aired on NBC network, and yes, the show ended. This one ended. This one wasn't cancelled. It ran right through until the end. Yes, guys. Now, I'm about to give you my 2 cents on it. This is Jeriel, if you didn't know. And yes, I'm back here. Thanks to the grace of God. From a tropical storm turning into a hurricane by the name of Elsa. That was the follow-up from the day that I was born to the straight into the next month, where we witnessed a hurricane, and the winds in that hurricane did not play with us. It didn't. We lose a lot of trees, and maybe a few galvanized. I think maybe one place lost, the school roof lost, was crushed. Some place by my home, their house was crushed as well too. But to the grace of God, we survived it, so thank you for that. So last week was pretty hectic. Now, you know me, let's get right to the topic. Yes, people, Hannibal Lecter. Man, this series, boy, it was interesting. From starting to finish, it was. And this doctor, he was not only a doctor to me, because to me he had a lot of skills in cooking. He was a chef. Because one of the parts in which series it was, whether it was season 1 or season 2 or season 3, because it had 3 seasons, he marinated somebody body parts. I don't know which one of them. He used to collect body parts from your liver to your heart to your kidney. He would collect them, and he would put the dead corpse of the human beings that he killed in certain position where he placed them. There was this woman that they got, this young lady that they got. 3 little boys got them in a underneath some forest. I don't know if it was really a big time forest, but it was underneath some trees. They thought it was a marijuana plant, but it wasn't a marijuana. But when they looked, they saw hands hanging in a kind of way with a needle stuck in it. He had those dead corpse positioned in different ways. He wasn't just somebody that was just killing people for the fun of it. He was really, really educated and really, really precise about how he put the people. Yes, Hannibal Lecter. He was. This series, it was madness. To me, the parts are very, very interesting. Madness. But the parts where, he marinated somebody's liver, or was it a kidney, and then he feed it to the officer that was in charge, and the person that was assisting him, Will, and this other doctor that was assisting Will, not doctor but assistant, somebody else that was helping him, a female. I don't remember her name, but I can remember Will, because he was very intrigued by him. He really liked Will, because Will was also gifted too. He used to know on what the person went through, from tying dead human bodies on a tree like they was serving for some kind of sacrifice to, it was really, really, really crazy. Yes, this series called Hannibal. Wow. And the person himself, Lord have mercy, I think they chose the right person to act the part, because he really did a good job out of it, and Will as well. All the people that took part in it, they all did a good job. He well presented the food. He had a special meal, he fix up his table nice and everything that night, and he invited all of them. They ate it, it was so good. And when they find out what body part that was missing and they started putting clues together, then they realized they just helped them and eat somebody that night. Craziness. There were more. They even dive into the part when he was young, other places. All these things is spoiler alert if you haven't seen the show, but for those who have seen it, yes, they would know what I'm talking about. It was just like this guy was, he knew what he was doing for somebody who was killing people. He knew what he was doing. So he really knew what he was doing. And he wasn't just killing people for the fun of it. I don't know how I can explain this, but if you go watch it, you would see. Always calm, and all. And but Will was very intelligent as well, and Will was gifted, so he even go to as far as pinning Will for all these murders, and all the people that was on Will's side started turning against him. They arrest him, only to find out that Will was never really the person. It was him. But the way it ended to be, it had to end that way, because if it didn't, he probably would have escaped to the point where he took somebody's embryo, or what he took from Will's assistant that was helping him solve the case, and he took it, I think she was pregnant or something, and he took it out from her when he kidnapped her, or he drug her, or what he did to her. I cannot really remember the stuff. And he took it and put it inside of a pig, and they had to move it back and put it inside of her. I think it was something like that. But when I tell you this series was interesting, it was very interesting. And I think if people like TV shows like that, you could go ahead and watch it or not. If it's fancy about, you could. But right now, I'm telling you, when I watched it, it was a long time ago, and this was all new to me. I've never seen serial killer or killer. I don't know if to call him serial killer, because they're not getting the people's body at the one time. Sometimes people like getting the people's body. I think that was the first part where they got the girl in the forest. I'm not sure, but it has 3 seasons, like I previously said. So with 13 episodes to each of them, and everybody had the position. He was so smart that he was playing police that was in charge. He was ahead. That was ahead of the investigation to other people from attacking all of them in the house and managing to escape, and they didn't get him. All of them got blooded in the house, and he escaped, to pinning a lot of the killings to Will that was helping the police people. The first 2 days finding out it was never Will, from his assistant getting hit. He was very when you look at it, obsessed a little bit with Will, because Will was kind of special. It seems he couldn't put together how he could have figured out how the people was killed, in what position, where they was from, and all that. I see me wiping myself because I'm pretty much sweating, and it is still sunlight outside there. So yes, this series called Hannibal Lecter, it was very interesting. And I think there was a Hannibal Lecter before that, so I think it might have been remade. I think it was based probably in a book too, because usually books are very, very interesting and they end up turning them into some series or a movie. So yes, so it might have not dig a lot into the book, because I know a lot of people like the books, but to me, for seeing it for the first time, when I did, it was really interesting. I've never seen crimes and things happen like that, and you have to use your head and all that. But yes, this was crazy. It was. Everybody get plucked, people got shot, people got stabbed, and a lot of people, from the scene where this guy car broke down in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if he was the one who did it, and he walking in on the guy to try and help him, and I cannot remember what happened. I think that was probably either his first victim or not. Could be his first or his second, because I think the girl they got in the forest, the 3 little boys got a woman, a young lady in the forest, I think, with a needle stuck in her hands, tied some different way to somebody. He had somebody tied in the middle of a place where they had white sun or whatever it was, and they had to go and take them there. Birds was all over the person. The person was up in the air. Yeah, it was just a lot. So guys, yes, that's kind of my 2 cents on the series called Hannibal. But this killer was very intelligent. He knew a lot of what he was doing because he lasted long. He was friends with police officers. They used to come at his home and eat. They even invited him to certain places, even at his home, at their home too. So the man ended up knowing all about them and stuff. Okay, and he could have read people just like Will could have read people and know what was going on because Will had a special gift as well. So Will figure him out, and he knew he couldn't let Will turn him in. So, at the ending, I'm seeing that's the only way they could have get that man. So I feel like the ending, they give justice to the thing. I wish it was longer where they would have showed us what happened to the rest of the people that survived. But to me, that's the only way they could have cast somebody like that. With somebody so gifted and talented as Will, the character was played by, huge. Well, yep. So guys, that's it for Hannibal. Now, let's get back to the next subject, or not subject, should I say. Let's get to the other part of the segment, which is the music segment. Yeah, before I start my next segment, I also have to say that Dr. Hannibal Lecter was also a cannibal. Yes, that's why he used to kill people precisely and take their body parts, and he used to refrigerate it and eat them, marinate it and eat it, even share it with people. So yes, he used to like to eat people's body parts. He was a cannibal. So yes. Now moving on to the next segment of this episode. He gave us hits like In My Shoes, Parlay, Dead Them Dead, Boats, Warn Them. Talking about the one and only Ally Kyatt. Yes, the guy is versatile. He applies pressure. He's very lyrical. And he knows his stuff. He's been giving us hits upon hits upon hits. And the three last hits that I mentioned, that's just recently, maybe a few months ago or a few weeks ago. Yes, he's no stranger to the music. And I'd just like to say, big up yourself, Alan. Big up yourself, Alika. Yes, this artist don't play. He knows how to do all different genre of music. Keep on doing your thing and just keep going. Full force, yes, guy. I would encourage you all to follow him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the link will be in my description. So go ahead and check him out. Tell him I sent y'all Jerry. On that note, I say stay blessed, peace, and later.